this is totally left field, not at all related to economic development.
Mm-hmm.
But is it weird?
Is any of this? Yeah. What are we doing here? No,
We're going existential.
Okay.
Is it weird being a parent of a child who is a native to a place when you had a history in like DC, where their experiences are their only experiences here, and in some ways,
yeah,
is there a weirdness there? To me, when I think about it, if I think about, raising kids in New Orleans or a city, in a place that is not the suburbs of Chicago,
mm-hmm.
you're kind of like, well, I'm the alien. My kids are
yeah.
the normal people
well,
here.
Well, living here, that if you are not born and raised here, you're not from here. I've lived in Louisiana over half my life, and I will never, ever be from here, and I'm okay with that. I feel like whenever I introduce myself, I'm like, but I've lived here since before Katrina, and I try to throw that out there. But everyone wants to know where you went to high school, and nobody knows what my high school is. So, but yeah, no, actually, I grew up raised by a mother from New Jersey and a father from New York who both met in college in DC, and that's why my sisters and I were born there. So I guess they kind of did the same thing. I don't know. I think you always do as a parent. There's no handbook. You're like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
Winging it.
I'm not going to tell my kids this.
Yeah.
They think I know everything. We're going to keep it that way. But on the inside, I still feel like I'm 22, and I just think this is a cool place to live. So they're going to like it, and that's it.
You better like it. This is your childhood.
You can only show this to them when they're 30, please.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, actually, and so in terms of like quality of life and like why people live here, it's a huge part of our selling New Orleans and Orleans Parish in terms of economic development. It's like it's a roadblock.
I mean, yeah.
Because there's an apprehension.
There's terrible. I shouldn't say terrible. We have a challenging public school scenario.
Yeah.
We have.
Well, it's extremely confusing to navigate if you.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
If
somebody was trying to explain it to me about, it's like, it's like enrollment.
Yeah.
Period or time
right.
or.
And then all your options aren't great. So
and I didn't get it. I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's like a lottery.
Don't waste your brain energy until you have to.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Okay. Good to know.
It's getting better after Katrina. And then you have like, what else? I mean, crime rates aren't spectacular. So if you want to compare suburban, wherever America to, it can sound scary. So you have, if you're family thinking about moving here for a job, you have like schools to think about. If you don't have kids, you have crime rates to think about and property values and public transportation and water boil advisories. Like,
the sort of stuff of the city.
Yeah.
The bones, the infrastructure. How do you articulate that? Has to feel like a really interesting charge to have the responsibility of expressing to folks how there is this really badass culture, and then simultaneously there's also high tech, and we also just built I don't know how many billions or many hundreds of millions of dollars this new hospital corridor is.
Oh, it's amazing.
But this is premier.
Mm-hmm.
This is some of the finest.
And I think it's a testament to the fact that, yes, our city has problems like many other cities do, and they're ugly and they're not great, and we're trying to make them better, right? But that's not, that doesn't impede economic development. And that doesn't impede being able to create these amazing facilities like the biomedical district, the biomedical corridor. So that's kind of a narrative that we kind of have to get past, because really, if we look at all these cities around us that have developed around the country, I mean, whether it's Austin or whatever, I mean, they used to be little tiny specks on a map too, right?
Yeah, Birmingham, Nashville, I mean, you name it.
Right.
And then, like, I think something that, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking out loud, I don't talk enough about, is the fact that there are so many different ways to live in New Orleans. I mean, you can live on the lakefront. That feels like suburbia USA.
Yeah.
You can live in the CBD. You can be uptown. You can be in mid-city. You can be in central city. You can be, I mean.
But all of it is like less than a 20-minute drive, really, from where you're working.
Booyah,
which growing up in the suburbs, I mean, my dad took
Metro, took the train,
took the Metro Express every morning to go work on State Street, and I was always there. That's not my life. Like that will not be my life.
Yeah, DC's the same way. You have to drive 50 minutes to go 10 miles. It's like,
I couldn't imagine it. Even visiting my buddies, I went to a wedding over the summer for some buddies who were living on the Upper East Side, and they were so excited. They had their apartment on the Upper East Side.
I'm sure that's awesome.
And it's very sexy New York, a couple of blocks from the river.
Yep.
And you go up there, and I flew into Newark, and I had to take the train to Penn Station.
Yeah.
And I get out at Penn Station, I'm like, what kind of Mad Max universe did I just walk into?
Right.
And then I have to go from there up to the Upper East Side.
It takes
and
forever.
everywhere the subway is it smells funny.
It smells like, yeah.
The subway in Mexico City
Totally.
is cleaner than the subway in New York.
That's true.
I believe you.
And it runs on tires. It doesn't have the rails, so it doesn't squeak and things like this. It's really
Yeah, the
beautiful.
summertime in New York City subway stations is the grossest.